The first thing is the name. And as it says, it needs to be something that our players can identify with very quickly. You don't want it to be too long. You don't want it to be too short. You want it to be something, though, that is concise, and the players are able to hear the name of the drill and instantly know what they're trying to do in the drill, where they need to go, where they need to be, and the situation that you are trying to put them in. So the parting quotes here over is going to describe a drill that we do with the quarterbacks here at Ohio University. This one is read 1, 2, 3. So as soon as I say to the quarterbacks, hey, we're going to do our read 1, 2, 3 drill, they know exactly where to go, what we're trying to do with the drill, and that we are able to get in a position to where we can execute this drill with no wasted time. The next thing, and these next two are pretty close in what we're trying to get out of it, but number one is the outcome. And it's basically, what do you want the drill to produce in the game? So when you turn on the film on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and you've been working on, in this case, reads for the quarterback, doing this drill, did it get what you wanted out of it? Were the reads better in the game? Were the pass sets by the tackles better in the game? Was the ball security for the running backs better in the game? What was it that you want out of the drill as you see in the game, on the game film, on the field, being done? So the outcome of this particular drill is to execute throws to our second and third read in the game. So again, what are we going to see on the film? That's the outcome. The purpose of the drill is, what are we going to work on to make sure that happens? So what kind of drill are we going to work on with the quarterbacks in this case? What are we doing to help them get through their reads better? What ball security drill are we working on, trying to keep it high and tight? Are we working about swinging the ball when we're carrying it? What are we trying to exactly work on that's going to help, in this case, our reads in the game? So as it says, to practice having good footwork when going through our first read, to our second read, to our third read. So primarily working on footwork. Now, there may be another drill that we need to do that helps with the reads that are more with our eyes or more with defensive recognition. But this drill is, the purpose of this drill is for our feet to be better in practice, and then hopefully carry over into the game as we go through. So the next thing, what positions are involved? Now these drills for the most part deal with actually out on the practice field at this point. But who's involved? In this case, it's the quarterbacks. If you've got extra receivers, I may have some extra receivers. But for the most part, it is a quarterback drill. But hopefully you've got the name of a drill. A drill that we do is that involves tackling. It's called the Butkus drill. As soon as Coach Solich or any of the coaches say, hey, Butkus drill, everyone knows where to go, and everyone knows, okay, the O linemen and the D linemen are involved in the drill. The linebackers and the tight ends are involved, and the receivers and the DBs are involved. They all know where to go because it's a short, concise name to the drill. And everybody knows what positions are involved in the drill. So who's involved? The next thing, and I think that this is unbelievably important, and I think if you are hiring a coach, or you're looking for someone to be part of your program, or you're evaluating coaches on your staff, one of the number one ways to evaluate is how good are their drills? How disciplined are they? How concise are they on what they're trying to teach? Are they doing a good job of teaching? And how relevant to the game is the drill? And I think a common mistake a lot of people use is they don't start their drill on what starts a play in the game. They'll start the drill on a whistle. Well, at no time during a game does a play start on a whistle. It never happens. So why start a drill on a whistle? To me, that's an inexperienced mistake. It never happens. So now you're teaching your players to start a drill in a way that never happens with a whistle. So find another way. For almost every position, with the exception of O-line, it starts on movement. Whether you're a receiver looking in at the ball, whether you're a DB in man coverage looking at the receiver, whether you're a linebacker reading your keys, it starts on movement. So start your drills with movement. Whether it be you go out and you get the broom handle with the football tied on the end of it and you hike it that way, or you tie a string to a football and you move the football that way, or whether you just stick your foot out, all right, and everybody moves on your foot. There are a number of ways to do it. Some of them require some equipment, some of them don't. But utilize movement when guys are doing their drills. Now, if you just have the O-line, then you may want to use a cadence, because the tackles generally, unless you're in a really loud environment, are listening for a cadence, are listening for a set go. So those guys, it may work out that you may want them to go on some sort of sound, but don't use a whistle. The next thing, what finishes the drill? For obvious reasons, as I said earlier, it can be important for safety, okay? But what finishes the drill? Now, this is one that, as much as possible, should be a whistle, because that's what ends the plays in college football. And we've all said, hey, go to the echo of the whistle, finish through the whistle. Well, if you're doing drills that don't end on a whistle, they're not getting reps of that. You may have a drill like the one that I explained at the onset of the clinic, is there should have been a whistle or some sort of definitive end to the drill, and try not to make it, oh, hey, okay. Make it, is it through a line? Is it over a particular bag? Is it through a set of cones? What finishes the drill? And it's important that everybody in the drill understands what finishes the drill, so that you don't get a situation where one guy's continuing to go at full speed and another guy has kind of stopped. So again, what starts and what finishes the drill, I think, are very, very important, no matter what sort of drills, whether they're conditioning drills, out-of-season drills, anything like that. All right. Now, the next thing that you need to have is, what equipment needs do you have? Unfortunately, here at Ohio University, we've got an unbelievable equipment staff, all right, that they prepare the drills that we have coming up in practice. So I'll try and give our guys my drill notebook and say, hey, if we're doing read 1, 2, 3, okay, I'm going to need footballs and 30 yards on the field. Okay, so if you're the head coach and you've got your list of what everybody's doing in a particular practice, and you look, hey, the quarterback coach is over doing read 1, 2, 3 drill, that takes up 30 yards on the field. And the receiver coach is going to do a deep ball drill at that same time. That requires 50 yards of the field. Well, we don't have enough field for everybody, so then you as the head coach or the offensive coordinator can look and say, hey, we can't do these two drills at the same time. We don't have enough field space. So you get back to that Tom Landry quote, our job is to manage the situation. And that would be a time where you just may not have enough field space. But so what equipment needs do you have, and be as descriptive as possible. Don't leave out, hey, sometimes you need the fire hose to simulate the offensive line. Put that on there if that's something that you need. All right, and then obviously you can tell this is a pretty in-depth, but describe the drill. This notebook that I put together is something that I will give our quarterbacks. We've got an incoming freshman quarterback. I will get this to him. And as I do this, I try and think, if he has no idea how to do the drill, if I do a good job describing it, he should at least have a chance of coming in and understanding what he is supposed to do. So, like I said, include as much information, but don't forget, it's very easy to forget where you're supposed to be situated. Where am I able to put myself in position to be able to, number one, see the drill, get out of it what I need, but also put myself in position where maybe I can see people not in the drill, so that I don't get that snot-nosed freshman that's screwing around in the background, or he's bent over, and we'll talk about body language later. But put yourself in a position, number one, where you can get the most out of evaluating the drill, but also that you can see some other things, whether or not you're getting into another coach's drill and being safe there, whether or not the drill's able to finish out where it needs to finish out.